Earth as a singular planet. In fact, it is anything but. For this is a story not of a universe, but a multiverse, where universes and planets, such as Earth, were replicated and mirrored across a vibrating, infinite plane. Some barely different from the next. Others drastically so.
This is DC On Screen. Every week, Dave and Jason talk about the multiverse of DC properties on film and television. But be warned, if it's been officially released, you can expect they'll spoil it.
Welcome into DC On Screen episode 517. I'm your host, David C. Robertson. This is a special episode to commemorate the 25th anniversary of Batman Mask of the Phantasm. I finally got to see this film on the big screen Monday night, and I was blown away. I was really happy with it. And also, I was in fantastic company. Scott of the Suicide Squadcast was there, and my wife Bethany, who has never seen this movie before, or any part of Batman the Animated Series. So we get to hear her first impressions of the universe, which turned out to be pretty interesting. Apologies for the quality of the cast. We recorded it on my phone in our car. I think it turned out pretty good, considering. It's also kind of funny that we can't have a podcast with Scott without it being in a freaking car after a movie. One more thing of note. At some point, we're talking about the animated series technique of painting bright colors on black paper to achieve, the aesthetic of the show. And I mentioned kind of a half-assed remembrance of something I'd heard about the production of the black paper killing animators. And we couldn't figure out how production of black paper was killing anyone, much less animators. Animators? Scott even says he's going to Google it. I don't know if he did, but I'll save you guys the trouble. The Kevin Smith podcast, Fat Man on Batman, is called Fat Man Beyond now. Episode 7. Around the 59-minute mark, Bruce Timm explains that they only did bright paint on black paper early on and switched to a new technique that mimicked the look because it was made clear that the chemical fumes from the required airbrushing was making all the animators really sick. Makes a lot more sense. So that's what I'm trying to spit out of my stupid maw. And that is it. I hope you enjoy the review.
All right, I'm David C. Robertson here with Scott of the Squadcast.
Hello.
And my wife, Bethany.
Hey.
And we have just watched Batman Mask of the Phantasm, the Fathom event, the Phantasm event.
I know, it seems appropriate though.
Yeah, we finally got to see this thing in theaters. Both Scott and I had the same experience as a kid, going, "Oh, Batman the Animated Series on the big screen," and then we didn't get it. Was there for like a week.
Well, it's also, we were 11, and I'm sorry, if your family's like mine, we don't go to the movies over Christmas.
Yeah.
It's not, you didn't do that.
Yeah. And I was envious a little bit of Matt of the MCU cast. His family were like, "We're going to have dinner and go to the movies. It's Christmas."
No, that's not how my family worked. My family still doesn't work like that. Nothing's changed in 25 years.
Yeah, we don't go to the movies. We're like, what? We have to sit around opening gifts and talking for 38 hours. Oh, all right. And Bethany has never seen it. This is her first foray into the Paul Dini Batman the Animated Series universe.
It was my first time. And I don't know what I was doing when it originally came out. As far as I can recall, I had no idea it existed.
Such a sad life you must
I
have
know.
led, Beth. You didn't grow up with Batman the Animated Series in your life. You were so deprived.
I know. It's really weird. I mean, I was into lots of nerdy stuff.
Yeah, I've seen her
growing
old
up.
her old room. She had plenty of toys and stuff from everything in the 90s.
I was probably just watching Jim.
Yeah.
I understood that reference.
She even has a Spider-Man the Animated Series figure in her room at home. But not Batman the Animated Series.
Okay, so I have to ask. I know I'm going to be asking your wife, but it's good. So, Bethany, you've never experienced Batman the Animated Series at all until this movie tonight. You have never seen this movie, and the first time you get to see it is on the big screen. First impressions.
Okay, first impressions. I think it was a cool story, but it was super, super 90s. It was...
Wow.
Honestly, it was slightly tough to get through, but I still
Ooh.
thought it... I know, sorry. I thought it was still a good story, though. And
What made it tough?
I don't know. I think it's maybe different because I didn't have any kind of like great memories watching the series or like watching the movie as a kid or something. Like maybe it's sort of like when you went to see The Labyrinth the first time a few months ago with me and my mom. Yeah. And like my mom and I were like, yes, a Fathom event. We can watch Labyrinth on the big screen. This is great. This is great. And we were just like, me and my mom were geeking out the whole time, like singing all the songs, and you slept through like 2/3 of it.
Okay, well, so there is no denying that Dave and I definitely have nostalgia on our side because we've been watching this for the show for 26 years now, and I remember renting this from a movie gallery on VHS to watch it in my house.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I carry that with it. So, but I've never thought about what it's like for someone who has, as an adult, and has never experienced the animated series at all.
Right.
What it must be like. So this is interesting to me. It's like a case study. It's like,
Well, I mean, I've heard Dave talk about the animated series a lot. I've heard a lot of talk about Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill as the Joker. Like it was cool to hear them voicing those roles. I mean, it was awesome to hear Mark Hamill.
Yeah,
voicing
you
the
poor
Joker.
soul.
This
is what you hear like daily. Like we wake up and I'm just going,
okay.
Kevin Conroy.
It's all right. I'm not a poor soul.
That's how I wake up. I'm just like muttering Mark Hamill.
Okay, I have a question for you. Okay, so what did you think about the animated series? It's called Dark Deco, but what did you think about the animation style that is indicative of the animated series?
I thought it was interesting.
Elaborate.
I don't know. I think it's cool. I don't know. It made it feel more like detective-y kind of feeling.
Like film noir?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cool.
Did you pick up on did you pick up or did you like how out of time it was? Like Bruce watching the black and white TV, but he's got a plane from the future.
We have gangsters in like 3-piece suits, with Tommy guns.
Yeah, that was really neat. I really like that style. I like it when TV shows or movies do that kind of stuff, like Gotham, and then and then Riverdale. It's neat. It's really cool. I like that. I was just like a weird part of me was just really geeking out over the Gotham World Fair.
Yes.
It is so cool. It's so cool. And I think I enjoyed it even more, like seeing the broken down part of it. And then that was just sort of like where Joker hung out. That was just kind of like his office. It was really neat. Like I want to go there. It was cool.
All right.
I just enjoyed seeing it. Like it worked on the big screen.
Yeah, I think it did.
And you're talking about, and for me, it's like I cannot count how many times I've watched this movie, but it's always been on a TV. TV of varying sizes, but still just a TV. And to go when they finally got the lights turned off, about like 5 minutes into the movie, but to have it on the big screen in the dark with that amazing Shirley Walker score playing on like theater speakers, it was like, yes, this is what I wanted. I was like, I was not disappointed by the theatrical experience of seeing this on the big screen. Because there was a part of me that was afraid that I had built this up so much in my head over the past couple of months since I heard about the Phantasm event, that was like, is this going to live up to my expectations, or is it just going to feel like I'm watching the movie at home? And thankfully, it did add a different experience to watching this movie that I have seen countless times.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The other day I went over onto DC Universe and I watched Pretty Poison.
Oh, good
first
episode.
Poison Ivy episode. And I was just like, I can't, like, it's awesome to see it in HD, but also HD, like, you can see the flaws so much better. like where the ears don't match up with where the head is, and sometimes they're like, I don't know, it looks like the ink is a little too thick on their eyes or something. You just can't really make out. And I was really afraid that it was going to be like this here, and it was every once in a while. But I mean, it was still solid. It's hard for me to like be completely just objective about it though, because I'm so wrapped up in Batman the Animated Series.
I mean, there's still the 10-year-old inside of us watching this, remembering what it was like watching this after school when we were 10.
But as a 10-year-old, I was still going like, that eye looks weird. But I love the backgrounds. I love how they painted all that stuff on black paper. And I'm sorry for everyone who lost their life over that. I don't know. Do you know about that?
I do not know about that.
I heard about it on, I think it was Batman on Batman, where they were saying like they were like, I think Bruce Timm was talking about it to Kevin Smith and was saying that they were producing it on black paper until like finally like the animators or someone called and said, please stop having us do this. It's killing us. Oh, God. And it was like literally killing people.
Wow.
Like,
so?
I something about like producing the black paper or just like, I don't know. They were this. I don't remember how exactly.
Wow.
It was causing some sort of lung problems or something.
That I could believe. Okay.
So they stopped.
You've now given me something to go home and Google.
And I really hope that I didn't just dream all of that.
Because if you did, that's very morbid, Dave.
It is, but it's not. It's not
cool story, though.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So you were saying that the story was a little bit hard to get through, but you dug the story. I was kind of curious. What elements of this movie in particular appealed to you as someone who you had no real preconceived notions going into this?
Right. Yeah. I mean, like the only thing that I had heard about the movie is from a previous episode of DC On Screen where Jason was talking about You Will Cry.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't cry, so I can never take care of Jason's puppy.
You know what? The scene that gets most of us, well, especially when we first saw it, was the whole I never expected to be happy.
Yeah.
That flashback scene at the graveyard.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe they already tell you it's okay. Maybe they sent me. That's the scene usually that gets most of us to go, oh my God, Bruce, Andrea.
Yeah. It's for me specifically, I want it to be okay. Please tell me it's okay. I didn't mean to be happy. Or I expect to be happy. That's.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the story was cool. I thought it was cool how Bruce just kind of happens upon Andrea, and then she ends up like eventually kind of linking back to Batman and like, the Joker. And
did you expect
really cool.
Spoilers? Did you expect her to be Phantasm?
No, I legitimately thought it was her dad.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
I didn't think it was her.
I'm curious, when did the light bulb click for you?
When the Joker said lady.
Okay, wow!
And I was
Good
like,
job! I'm glad the movie
lady.
did its job.
Yeah. You want to know one of the really horrible problems for being who I am, and probably Scott too. We knew who the Phantasm was, I bet. I know I did, because of the toys.
Oh, wow.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't know.
Oh, that's awesome. See, when I'm like, I'm standing at like Walmart or Kmart or something, I'm looking at the Phantasm toy, and you could take off its mask, and it was Andrea, and I'm like, you sons of bitches.
That is a huge spoiler.
Oh,
Man.
and by the way, you know
Jerks.
what they try to do to help trick you? The same actor who voiced the father is the voice of the Phantasm.
Oh,
They
yeah,
do that.
that's
They did
cool.
that. Yeah, they did that intentionally. So the modulated voice you hear as Phantasm is the same actor who played the dad.
Yeah, that's neat. I saw that in the credits. That like both of the credits went to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's neat.
I'm very happy that the movie fooled her. Actually.
Yeah.
I am too.
Yeah, it definitely did. Oh, speaking of the credits.
Oh god.
Oh god.
So I was delighted in that like early 90s cheesy way because I love it. I love cheesy 80s stuff. I love cheesy 90s stuff. And the song in the end credits was pretty awful and just like reeked of the 90s. And I was like, this is some like Toni Braxton crap.
Yeah.
Like, it was,
Except it was Tia Carrere.
Tia Carrere. Like, wait, what? Tia Carrere.
That is so outside of what the animated series and all of that does. Just it always, like, I know it's there, but every time I hear it, I'm like, oh. I forgot how bad it was.
I know Dave said that to me
really
during the
funny.
credits. Like, I forgot how bad the in credit music was. I was like, Dave, I've never forgotten. As soon as that like as soon as like that soprano saxophone or whatever that thing is kicks in, with that Kenny G 90s soft jazz flavor, and it's like, no, give me Shirley Walker some more. Give me some orchestra.
Which even that was funny to me because Shirley Walker and the orchestra is always so amazing on the show. I feel like they didn't really up their game at all. They just brought in some ladies to go, oh. But it did make it sound more epic.
It did. I mean, especially I feel like they used more percussion in the movie, like the really deep, like the drums.
Yeah, I can see that.
They brought in more drums because the music sounded even, and I've always felt this, the music sounds even darker for the movie than you would normally get on the television show. But you've also got to remember that this movie was originally planned just to be a direct-to-video release, and halfway through production, the executives went, oh, by the way, we're releasing it theatrically. And then, of course, you know, Paul Dini, Alan Burnett, Bruce Timm, Eric Radomski, the whole gang just lost their shit because they were like, what?
And they should. They should. That's a terrible thing to throw on somebody.
Yeah.
Which is funny. You do know that on the Blu-ray now you can get the you can get like the 4:3 television format, and you can get the widescreen format, and they actually say watch the 4:3 because it was supposed to be a home video release. You actually see more of the screen with the and the widescreen actually cut stuff off because it was supposed to be just viewed on our little televisions from the 90s. It was never supposed to be seen on a big screen.
That kind of stuff drives me nuts. Hulu does that to Seinfeld. They cut off the tops and bottom of the screen and just center it.
No.
It's really bothersome.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested with Bethany. I mean, because she's the one who hasn't seen this movie before. I mean, what else? I mean, things you like, things you didn't like. I mean, really, it's all fair game at this point.
Let's see. I loved Alfred.
Oh, yes.
Alfred was great. I
Stalwart.
loved his expressions and his reactions to things, and he kept walking up on Andrea and Bruce making out.
Ooh.
I love the creators for this thing. I love their sense of comedic timing. It's the same in the animated series, I would say.
Oh, yes. Well, this movie has one of my favorite Alfred lines of the entire series, which is when Bruce says, "You think you know everything about me, don't you?" And he goes, "I diapered your bottom. I bloody well ought to, sir."
Yep, I like that one. I much prefer no, you're the picture of sanity. By the way, I put away your tights and your
exploding gas balls.
Exploding gas balls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. is the best.
Almost the best, because Mark Hamill steals every scene he's in this movie.
I was talking about his Alfred, though. Like, he's the best Alfred.
Yeah, everybody who was ever in the animated series was the best whatever character they were that ever existed.
Oh, man. So you loved Alfred. What else?
I loved the way Joker killed that guy who came to him for help.
Oh, yeah. Valestra.
Yes, that was awesome.
What?
That was cool to just, all of a sudden see him in the chair with, his mouth just forced open.
I'm kind of curious because you're enjoying the dark stuff. Were you amazed at some of the maturity in this movie for what was essentially a movie version of an after-school TV show?
Yeah. Yeah,
what kind of stood out? As someone who didn't know what to expect, I mean, what were some of the things that maybe took you by surprise or delighted you in that, wow, they didn't pull any punches on this?
Yeah, I mean, I guess Joker killing that guy. Oh, and then in the beginning, when another one of the guys who was killed was in that parking deck and just went off the side of it and into the other building.
Yeah.
And it also helped me realize one of my biggest fears now.
Driving off a parking deck?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's always been one of my biggest fears.
I know, I always see guardrails and I'm like, that doesn't look like it would hold my car.
When I was a kid, I used to have to get allergy shots and we would have to park in the Jackson Hospital parking deck. So when I watched this, that was when I was 8 or 9, and I would always freak out about the parking deck because my mom drives like a bat out of hell. And when I saw this movie, I clenched my seat and I was like, it's happening!
It's It can happen in here. It can happen in real life.
I just asked the fact that there was that cool theremin that always was like part of the Phantasm's theme.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, that thing was creepy.
That's great.
You always got me was how much blood is in this movie.
That is, yeah. We didn't see that much blood again until the show moved over to WB.
Yeah, yeah. They weren't allowed to do.
Yeah.
They weren't allowed to do blood, but I mean, man, they get cut, they get scraped. Joker gets a tooth knocked out.
Yeah.
Yep. I love the bit where, and Bethany actually laughed really hard at this when he is on the phone and he thinks he's killed Andrea. And he's like, the phone is just swinging back and forth, and you can hear him, "Operator, excuse me, I think my party's been disconnected."
Yeah, you laughed so hard, I was so happy. That's always been a great line.
Yeah, that was great.
So,
And then he gets really tickled at himself too.
so how much does this movie make you want to watch Batman the Animated Series?
It does make me want to watch it more than before I saw the movie.
Because I've been kind of picking at you for years.
You haven't been picking at me. You really super duper want me to watch it.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't attack you with it because
right.
I'm
not like
you
you did with Doctor Who.
Well, no, your sister did with Doctor Who. I did with Star Trek. And you watched all of Star Trek.
Yeah, you
all
guys were not wrong.
21 seasons of it or so. So I ain't mad at you. And I got you into Arrow and all that stuff. You watch all of that stuff, which, let's be honest, some weeks that is a chore.
Yeah.
But still, overall, my life is better for it.
I will say, Bethany, is I will warn you, there are some clunkers in the first 20-25 episodes. There's some clunkers in there, but it is worth the time and investment. It is one of those watermarks of television animation. It made an impact.
Neat.
That is still felt today. So.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And
yeah, I mean, a lot of people who are adults now talking about different people who have played Batman, the Joker, and whoever. I mean, a lot of them still always go back to Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah, and they're still
doing it.
They're still doing it. Yeah. They were just playing those same characters on Justice League Action, which, cool. As far as I know, isn't wrapped up into the continuity with any of this.
Oh no, it is completely its own thing. But it's the same way that Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill did the Arkham games. It's like which is its own thing. But you get those two together, and it adds legitimacy to any kind of Batman project you do.
Yeah.
Like you said, you get adults who, after 26 years, are like, if it's not Kevin Conroy or Mark Hamill, they scoff at it.
Right. Which, I know that, certain versions of the characters in Justice League Action are different from the Justice League show that was in this continuity. I just didn't know if they, ever, and you can spoil it for me, you can tell me, did they ever do, any kind of, multi-universe crossover thing? Because, Batman, Brave and the Bold, often, you would see, Kevin Conroy's Batman show up in the background as part of, the Batmen or whatever.
There is an this is what I'll spoil for you. There's an episode with Batman and Blue Beetle that does involve a time travel aspect, and there is a homage to Batman the Animated Series, but nothing that suggests that there is any continuity connection besides the voices.
Because, Brave and the Bold, they opened a portal. You saw Kevin Conroy and Will Friedle's Batman come through that portal.
Yes, you did.
Great.
No, Justice League Action has not Brave and Bolded it yet.
Okay. All right. Well, Brave and the Bold is my second favorite Batman series of all time.
It is so good, and it's amazing. The show that I gave absolutely no credence to whatsoever when it was on air, and I discovered it on home video when I was like, this is brilliant.
Yes, it is. Let's see. What else? Do you have anything else?
I mean, I have talked about this movie ad nauseum and the animated series. I don't know if I have anything else to add. Like I said, listen to Bethany talk about it and get her impressions from it has been really... I just, Bethany, this is by no means an insult, but I'm just it just blows my mind that, this is it. This is your first and so far only experience of this. And I'm just what? How was that possible?
Yeah.
I know. I don't know how it's possible either. I don't know. I mean, because I was I have always been so into watching TV and so into watching movies. It's not like I'm one of those kids where it was like, no, we didn't have a TV until I was 15. I mean, I watched TV a lot of times when I was younger. Like, as soon as I woke up, I would turn it on and have it on something while I was getting ready for school.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I have no idea.
Was this your first time seeing Mark Hamill as the Joker? Or have you seen it somewhere else?
Did he voice the Joker in The Killing Joke?
Yes, he
Yes.
did. And
Okay.
Kevin
Okay.
Conroy was Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I thought. Yeah, okay. So I saw The Killing Joke.
All right.
Last year?
No, that was
A couple years ago.
a couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because we all got together for that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that's right.
No Jason this time. He's off with
Children.
his child. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I left my children at home. That's how I roll.
All right. Well,
Final thoughts.
when you want to start watching the animated series, babe? That's,
At the least, we have to finish Doctor Who first.
no. You mean like all the old stuff too?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay.
They're probably.
You guys have
I'll
DC?
probably need a break.
Do you guys have DC Universe?
Jason and I share it.
There you go. Okay. You know what I think we need? Like, let her do an episode a day. I mean, it's only going to be 20, 22, 23 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of slowly. It's like a vaccine. We're just going to inoculate her until she's just
Did
as.
you almost say it's like a poison?
No. I was going to say that, but that's not what I meant. But we gotta infect her with the love for this series like we do.
It just sounds like you're talking about like slipping her a little poison every day to immunize her.
Well, you did mention the Poison Ivy episode, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
It is a great episode.
And then by the end of watching the animated series, I will be some version of Harley Quinn. I will just have gone slightly crazy.
That works.
every
That works
episode.
for me. No?
Yeah, that's cool. And then by the end of Justice League Unlimited,
5-6 shows later.
here's a little episode called Epilogue. Oh, yeah.
Such a good episode.
We might, I think, didn't you ask me, was this the show you asked me about the other day? Like, if there was a trade-off? Like, if I watch the animated series, like, if there was something...
No, that was MASH.
Oh, for MASH. Okay.
I'm working
okay.
on her all the time about
All
different
right.
shows.
All right.
Because we had a deal worked out where, like, I wanted her to watch Rick and Morty, and she wanted me to watch New Girl.
Okay.
And so we traded. We were like, all right, I'll watch New Girl if you watch Rick and Morty. And I watched New Girl, and my God, what a beautiful show. It's why one of the reasons I'm excited Jake Johnson is Spider-Man and Into the Spider-Verse. I love that character. I love most of the characters on that show. Not the New Girl. I don't really care for her.
Zoe
Deschanel.
Yeah. She was my least favorite character. I didn't hate her, but she was my least favorite character, I think. Like, all of the guys were my favorite.
Yeah.
I was always just disappointed that the African-American guy was replaced after the pilot.
Oh, Damon Wayans Jr.?
I liked him. I like the guy in the pilot.
He comes back from time to time.
Oh, good. Okay.
There's an entire season where he's there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I need to go back and watch it then.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. And the guy that replaced him is just brilliant.
Mama Warren.
Okay.
My favorite character on the entire show.
Yeah, playing Winston.
I can't remember any of their names in real life. Except for Damon Wayans Jr.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe there's...
And Jake Johnson.
Maybe there's a trade-off. Maybe it's like Batman the animated series for me and the How to Train Your Dragon series for you.
Oh, that's never going to happen.
It's good.
Oh, it's going to be so hard. You know what, though? When you were watching this latest How to Train Your Dragon series, you did fall asleep to some, and I wound up just standing there for like 20 minutes at a time watching it. So it's possible. It is possible.
Dave, I would say make whatever sacrifice is necessary to get her to watch Batman the Animated Series.
I know.
Take one for the team.
I mean, you know, I'm pretty easily entertained.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll come up with a good trade-off.
But what am I going to do for MASH now?
There's always going to be TV.
There will always be TV.
We will always find something to trade. Like, and another trade.
Maybe I'll keep watching Riverdale. Maybe I'll keep watching Riverdale if you just watch MASH.
We were like super psyched about it in the first season. And
it was good in the first season.
The second and the current third season are just like, what is happening?
It's so bad.
What?
It's so bad.
And do you love? Oh, sorry. I God. It's not a Riverdale podcast, but I don't know. It really bothers me that they're calling the, what is it, Griffins and Gargoyles game, that crap. There's like G&G. They call it G&G.
I don't watch Riverdale, so I can't contribute to
It's,
this conversation.
it's bad, man. You don't need to watch Riverdale.
I don't have to, but my wife does, so there you go.
Or watch the first season and then just stop.
Stop!
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done those shows. I know. Like Heroes. Watch the first season and stop.
Absolutely.
Oh, jeez. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All
Don't
right.
believe the reboot.
All right. Well, I think that's it. I think that's all we've got.
I think it's all we got.
All right. Well, President Dave is going to pop in and say some stuff about social media and bullshit. Later, guys.
Bye.
As promised, Dave of the Present here. Thanks to Scott of the Suicide Squadcast for staying out on a rainy school night to record with us when a warm bed clearly waited for him. He tweets at ScottDC27, and you can find his show at suicidesquadcast.com. Thanks to my wife Bethany for coming with us and agreeing to be a part of the show, and thank you for listening. And remember, you are more than welcome to rate and review this show on iTunes or anywhere else that will let you. I mean, I think Stitcher does, but it's hard to get to, just like with iTunes. It's a pain in the ass. Look, just be sure to subscribe. Share our show out to everyone you think will enjoy it. And if you'd like to chat with us, we tweet at DC On Screen. I tweet at David C. Robertson. Same usernames for Instagram, by the way. And we implore you, come, join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/DC On Screen podcast. There will be a link in the description. Until next time, though, keep some DC on your screen. Keep it. DC Universe is here. There's no reason not to now. There's no excuse. God help us. God help us all.
It is not for me to know.
Our opening narration was from Dan Jurgens' The History of the DC Universe, Part 3 of 10, as featured in DC 52, Week 4. It was performed by me, David C. Robertson. Intro music by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Future Elevators, could be found on Spotify or future-elevators.com. Our introduction was performed by Effie Ophelders of the fantastic podcast Stealing the Remote, which lives on SoundCloud. It can also be found on iTunes and Stitcher. We are proudly in partnership with TV Time, TV show calendar and social media site that lets you keep track of what you're watching, what your friends are watching, and where you all left off. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. Visit maladjusted.tv for more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, an improvised web series, vlogs, parodies, and more.
Are you maladjusted? We all love the low country lifestyle, which is why we should do our best to protect it. To get insurance that helps you protect your home from whatever the low country throws at you, contact CT Lowndes & Company today. Their local agents can review your coverage to help make sure you're properly protected. CT Lowndes & Company has been helping protect and insuring the low country since 1850. Visit ctlowndes.com to learn more and request a quote. That's CTLOWNDES.com.